Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's Mike's Talks and Thoughts here, back in with another video for you guys, and today we are going to be doing a reaction video. Haven't done this on my channel yet, but it's going to be a reaction to my friend's top 10 favorite shows of all time. This is an idea I've had planned for a while now, and just going to be going through 10 different lists here. I asked my friends to give me 10 of their favorite shows of all time. Most of them were able to rank them in order. Others just put 10 with no order. I have those specified here. We're going to be going 1 through 10, and leave a comment down below who you think had the best list of the group here. And in a follow-up to this, I will be asking as well you guys, as well as other people around the internet, I will be taking lists from and doing a top 10 reaction video for that as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into these lists here. So as I stated earlier, my friends here sent in a list of their 10 favorite shows. I did my best not to look too in depth on the shows they put. I just had them send it. I copied it and pasted it here into this document to go over them and of course just react to their rankings and the shows that they put. This first list here, we have Rick and Morty at number 10. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Rick and Morty, but I know so many people who are, and I can definitely see why it is up in the top 10 here. But again, just personally for me, nothing too crazy. At 9, we have Criminal Minds, another crazy epic show that I want to get into. You know, it has that crime aspect, of course, being in Criminal Minds here, just a classic from the 2000s here. At number 8, we have The Boys. This is a show that I feel like is going to appear a lot on this list because The Boys has just been popping off crazy in this last year or so since season 3 has come out. And at 7 here, we have Shoresy. And now this show, I really don't know too much about it. I know it's a little bit about hockey, and the one friend here, just from looking at this now, I know he's a huge hockey fan, so this is definitely going to be one that is up your alley, I guess, if you're a sports fan. So he is very highly on this show in his top 10 favorites here. 6, we have Mayans MC. Now this is a little bit shocking here. Mayans is a really great show, but for having it be in the top 10, that seems a little crazy. But man, if you love Sons of Anarchy, I think Mayans is definitely up there. Mayans is a really good show. There's a lot of great characters and a lot of great moments. At number 5 here, we have 24. This is a great show. It's just so long. One that I want to watch in full, but it's just so long to get through. Jack Bauer is considered a goated ass TV protagonist here, and you know, for being in the top 10, no shock there. Number 4 here, Breaking Bad, an obvious choice here. Breaking Bad's got to be in the top 10 for sure. You know, if I'm asking anyone, you gotta have Breaking Bad in your top 10, man. But number 3 here, Letterkenny, another one with that hockey vibe here. This is one that I've heard a lot about just like through conversations, but never really been like one that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch Letterkenny now. But interesting, in the top 3 here. At number 2, we have Sons of Anarchy. This is a goated ass show, one of my favorites here. This is a kick-ass action show. Great placement there. I also have it in my personal top 10. And then also Vikings here at number 1. I mentioned this previously in my watch list that I have Vikings on my watch list for 2023. I mentioned that one of my friends has Vikings as his number 1 show of all time, so this is him and the rest of his top 10 list. I think it's honestly pretty solid. Pretty much, you know, classics, while also throwing in some underrated shows in there as well. All right, taking a look at the next list here, another one with Rick and Morty at number 10. Again, Rick and Morty is so well praised, but I just think this show is a little bit overhyped. I've never been able to really get into it. I've never really found it too funny or anything like that. You know, there's definitely a lot more better animated shows or cartoons that I really like. And speaking of that, number 9 here, Futurama. Futurama for me is a fantastic show. Matt Groening here, a great creator in this one. Bender is hilarious. Zoidberg is one of the favorite characters that I have on that show. He just has some out-of-pocket lines, man. There's just so many great storylines here. The Luck of the Friars, the late Philip J. Fry, Jurassic Park. So many great emotional episodes in Futurama here. Great choice. I don't think it's close to my top 10, but that is a phenomenal show. Coming in here at number 8 is The Walking Dead. This is actually one that I thought would be a little bit higher on some people's lists. I have a lot of friends who are huge, massive Walking Dead fans, but Walking Dead in the top 10, man, I can respect it. It's getting close there for me. It's definitely on that borderline, man. I feel like it's a really great show, very well acclaimed. A lot of people know about The Walking Dead. Again with the Mayans love. Mayans coming in here at number 7, man. Mayans. 2 back-to-back lists with Mayans in the top 10, man. I love Mayans, but I think that's a little bit high. But like I said, everyone has their favorites and their preferences, and I can't fault them for putting a show like Mayans. I think Mayans is really great in the crime drama aspect. Number 6, The Last Kingdom. I've heard this show is very comparable in points to Game of Thrones, how it has a lot of world building and dealing with castles and the medieval times, and a very great period piece. I know it just ended here recently, a show that I'm definitely looking forward to watch right here at this number 6 spot. Number 5, we have Breaking Bad, a legendary show. So we have Breaking Bad number 4 on the first list, and Breaking Bad number 5 on this list. Breaking Bad, totally worthy of a top 10. Again with The Boys here, number 4, The Boys. Man, The Boys is a show that I'm super excited about to check out in 2023 here. I haven't seen The Boys yet, but I've heard so much buzz about Homelander. Anthony Starr is amazing. Number 3, House of the Dragon. And number 2, Game of Thrones. Wow, so House of the Dragon already after the first season in the top 3 here. That seems a little crazy, but I think with the potential that House of the Dragon has, could reach up to those heights of Game of Thrones, man. It is so incredible. That first season has so much potential to be great, and moving forward here, I think it has potential to be a top 10 staple. But number 3, man, that is crazy. After the first season, man, my friend must be really high on House of the Dragon. Then, of course, Game of Thrones here. Game of Thrones, absolutely worthy of a top 10 spot, in my opinion. This is such a phenomenally done show. The world building is better than any show I've ever watched. My favorite world to explore. If you had to ask, like, a world that you could just encompass and so much detail in it, Game of Thrones is that world. I absolutely love it. The world building is better than any show out there. And then number 1, Sons of Anarchy. Man, I love seeing Sons of Anarchy getting love here in these first couple here, because I feel like Sons of Anarchy is very underrated, man. Like, people don't deny it's a great show, but people are not talking about it like in that top 10 or top 20 like it should be, man. I think Sons of Anarchy is a badass show, man, that has a lot of great moments and a great list here from my friend. All right, here with the third list, we have Viva La Bam here. A very interesting little show. This is honestly the one I know like the least about. I am really shocked that this is up in the top 10, but it is something that, of course, from what I've heard about this show, it's just a nice free watch here, something you can kick back and relax to. So I can see that being like just a fun little show in that aspect. Number 9, Supernatural. I've heard this show has some of the craziest storylines. It's another one that I would want to watch, but it's so freaking long, man. Over 300 episodes that are like 45 minutes a piece. Man, I just can't do it, man. I would love to get into Supernatural, but I can't do it at that rate. Number 8, Duck Dynasty here. One that is another kick back and relax show. This was always one that I always would see on TV. I would watch little bits and pieces here of that. But I was never a really big Duck Dynasty person, but I knew my aunt was, and now my friend here, he is a big Duck Dynasty fan. This one is just a staple in, the TV that's always playing constantly back in the days. Duck Dynasty, man, just some of the crazy things that they would get up to be mind-blowing. Number 7, Stranger Things. Stranger Things is a great show, man. And Stranger Things has been getting disrespected here lately. On TikTok especially, people keep just disrespecting Stranger Things. Like, I know the fan base can be a little bit toxic at points, but man, Stranger Things is so good. I don't understand why people think it's mid or trash. I feel like no one was saying that until like season 4 came out, and then like season 4 came out and was so popular that people kind of got on that trend of hating it, which I don't think that it should be. Stranger Things is incredible, definitely worthy for me of a top 10 appearance here. 6, Naked and Afraid, another oddball show here in the top 10, but I actually really like seeing these little oddballs sprinkled in here, ones that you want to recommend to people because you feel so passionate about that show. So definitely an interesting pick here for number 6 on their top 10. And then here we move into some classic shows. Game of Thrones at number 5. Already spoke highly of Game of Thrones. Number 4 is Impractical Jokers here. I personally am not crazy on Impractical Jokers, but literally every friend I know loves Impractical Jokers. Pretty much like all the people who I pulled here love Impractical Jokers, so I'm expecting to see it a lot more on this list. Number 3 here, That 70s Show, one of the most classic sitcoms, especially of the 90s and the 2000s. Epic show. The Office, one of the most praised and acclaimed sitcoms of all time. Definitely two that deserve to have up there, especially for sitcoms here. And then number 1, again, Sons of Anarchy, showing the love to Sons of Anarchy. What a epic show, man. I love seeing this love for Sons of Anarchy. All the lists we've gone through so far, I'm pretty sure have had Sons of Anarchy on it. So, and all of them, like in the top 3. Crazy to see, and I'd love to see it. All right, we're here with list number 4, and this one is one my friend said that he doesn't really have an order here. He just wanted to give his 10 shows, and we'll go through them here and see what he has down. Of course, Impractical Jokers here, one that I mentioned all my friends absolutely love. Family Guy and South Park here, 2 classic Family Guy, South Park, and Futurama, classic adult cartoons here. Can't go wrong with just putting those on for a good laugh. The Office, already talked about a lot, critically acclaimed, definitely worthy of a top 10. If you're going to put a comedy in there, The Office is one of the worthy ones for that. And now here's Shameless. This is one that my friends are kind of mixed. I know some friends who love it, like this guy, and then some people who can't stand Shameless. I'm kind of in the middle. I've never really had a strong opinion either way on it. I've always seen it pop up on my timeline a lot, like with scenes from it, and I actually knew a coworker who was watching this at one point, so I am just really intrigued by the show. I don't know if I'll ever end up watching it though, but Shameless here, that's kind of my 2 cents on it. We have Letterkenny here. This is another one here, of course. Here in the top 10, looks like one that I definitely got to check out. My friends are so highly on this show. Reservation Dogs. Now, when I took a glance at this at first, I was like, Reservoir Dogs? I'm like, that's a movie by Quentin Tarantino. I'd never heard of this. And I still don't know too much about this. And just here glancing over these lists beforehand, Reservation Dogs, I really don't know too much about it, but it seems interesting. I wonder if it has any connection with Reservoir Dogs. I don't know, honestly. This is a show I've really never heard of, and it's really intriguing to see it here in someone's top 10. And then, of course, 2 classics here. Breaking Bad, the ultimate poster child for top 10s. And look at The Boys getting some more love here. The Boys coming in strong with another top 10 appearance here. Alright, we are here with number 5, and this, you can already tell, is a different, unique list, which is so great to see. You love seeing the ones that deserve their praise up in the top 10, but seeing a little bit of variety makes it so great. And here we start off with last week with John Oliver. I love John Oliver and Community here, and this is just another little fun show to watch here, and sneaks in here to the top 10. The Bear at number 9. Again, like House of the Dragon, one that's only had 1 season so far, already in the top 10. Very bold there. I don't know if he was going for more potential here, like he's potentially thinking the boys are going to be, potentially thinking that the Bear's going to be in the top 10 here, or if he's just so high on that first season, because personally for me, I wasn't as big on the Bear as most people, but I'm definitely not in the popular opinion there. Everyone loves the Bear, and just putting it here in the top 10, very ambitious. Number 8, American Idol. American Idol, you could never escape it here in the early 2000s here. So many iconic contestants and winners. Is definitely never, I think, gonna ever get back to its glory days. But those like first, I would say 6, 7, maybe 8 seasons of American Idol were some of the best. I mean, I wasn't even crazy about American Idol with my family, but even I was a part of the craze. Every night trying to see who was going to move on to the next round, who was going to be the winner. You know, looking over the winners and the past contestants. American Idol was crazy, especially in the early 2000s. SpongeBob here. If you're going to put a classic childhood show, SpongeBob is definitely one that you got to put on here. Definitely one that I think is actually worthy of a top 10 appearance here. This one, some of the most classic moments of all time. We see here Law and Order, big Law and Order watcher here. SNL. I'm not a big SNL fan, but it's one of the biggest shows ever made. Been going on forever, and it's something that I feel like a lot of people really go to when they're looking for something to laugh. The sketches on here are just all over YouTube, and so many memorable ones that have surfaced around the internet. Number 4, The Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead up a little bit higher on this list. The Walking Dead is a great show here. You know, I always had my doubts about The Walking Dead, but when I finally watched it, it was a great, great show. Back with the Law and Order trend, Law and Order SVU. I do think SVU is better than the original, but I really haven't seen either of them too much. They're just too long for me to get through. It's kind of the same problem with Supernatural. It's just shows that I want to watch, but they're just so long. I'm a completionist. I'm one that I gotta, like, if I start a show, I gotta finish it. Like, you know, there's some shows that I fall off on, but for the most part, if I'm gonna start a show, I gotta try and finish it. And Law & Order, I don't think will ever end. The Law & Order franchise is just continuing to put out new stuff, and that's kind of what they're known for, man. They put out so much content. You have so much library to look at. If you're a Law & Order fan, kind of like what The Walking Dead is becoming now, you're never going to run out of content. So I guess that's good if you want something that's always going to be on, something that's always going to be current. Law & Order is always going to be there. Number 2, Modern Family, another great sitcom here. I personally do like Modern Family. I wasn't able to get through the entire show. This is one that I kind of fell off of. I know I say I like completing all my shows here, but this is the one that I fell off on. Modern Family's cool. Number 2, though, man, showing a lot of love to Modern Family. And then, of course, How I Met Your Mother at number 1. My favorite sitcom of all time. And, of course, favorite show of all time here for this list. You can't go wrong. How I Met Your Mother is incredible. It's definitely in that tier of sitcoms. If you're going to put a sitcom in the top 10, How I Met Your Mother is like right at the top of that list for me personally. And it should be like in that tier along with like The Office and a few others. List 6, another one that's a little bit diverse here. We have Mike and Molly at number 10. A very underrated show. I've only seen the first episode from it. But man, top 10, that is something, that is how you show love to Mike and Molly, putting it in the top 10 here. We see SNL at number 9 here again. Another one I've kind of explained I'm not really big on, but I understand why it is so big and so impactful for people. Number 8, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Wow, this is a crazy pick here in the top 10, but you know, no one's ever going to have Harold and the Purple Crayon in their top 10. That's what I love about this. I love that they're pushing the boundaries here. I love how they're not conforming to everything else, and they're putting exactly what they want to put here. I respect that. I respect that a lot for this pick here. Number 7, a classic, That 70s Show, of course, already talked about it. Number 6, regular show, like I talked about with SpongeBob. Classic childhood show. Up there with some of the greats, man. Regular show is absolutely phenomenal. And then you have South Park here, of course, mentioned as well. And a lot of great cartoons here coming up. With SpongeBob at number 4, Family Guy at number 3, Breaking Bad at number 2, the best drama of all time. And then Gravity Falls, number 1. I've heard the story of Gravity Falls is immaculately told. It's a very short little series that follows the adventures of Dipper and Mabel here. And I've heard the finale is absolutely incredible. So one that I want to check out. Again, it's rated so well among the cartoon fan base here. Another one here with no order, but another one with new shows that we can talk about. we have The Flash here. And I remember when I was talking with my friend about this, the one who put this, because I vividly remember The Flash, he said that he would only put like the beginning seasons of The Flash on here. So we have The Flash here. Death Note, man, what an epic anime. One that, if I had to watch any anime, this would be the anime I'd want to watch. Death Note, it's not one of the ones that are like 1,000 episodes long. This is like 30 some odd episodes here, and there's so many crazy things, and that concept is like super interesting. Like, imagine if you could just like write anyone's name and they would just, you know, disappear. Like, Death Note is insanely intriguing. Adventure Time here, another one like Regular Show, classic growing up. I was always more of a Regular Show guy. Adventure Time though, another one if you had to put like a really good nostalgic show for yourself in the top 10, Adventure Time is definitely one that's got to be there. And we see Regular Show here as well as Family Guy. Animated shows here, The Walking Dead coming in here in this top 10. Everybody Hates Chris. What a great show that is, man. Julius, that's 10 cents worth of Kool-Aid. Julius is absolutely hilarious. Tyler James Williams is great on it as Chris. So many great little funny moments here. Another one that is underrated in my opinion. Teen Titans here. I've never been into the Teen Titans universe. I hate Teen Titans Go. I'll just tell you that right now. I've heard that show is just completely trash, but the original Teen Titans here, can't really speak that much on it, but one that I feel like this person really grew up with and hits in the heart for the nostalgia. South Park here, of course, just great animation up there. He has Family Guy, South Park, two of the poster childs here. And Naruto here, a larger anime here, one that I've heard really great things about, like from a lot of my friends. Naruto is like their favorite show or up there. But another one that's just really long. It's not as long as some other animes though, so it's definitely one that has a crazy unique little story. All right, here number 8, looks like a lot of cartoons here in this one. We have Aqua Teen Hunger Force. You know, when you were growing up as a kid and you woke up at 2-3 in the morning, you would see Aqua Teen Hunger Force on your TV if you were watching like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. This one is just so weird, and like I feel like nowadays if you were to watch it while you were say on some of the adult stuff here, it would definitely like freak your mind out here, or be something that would be like a mind fuck thing. It'd be crazy to watch. Amazing World of Gumball. This is another one that Cartoon Network hails as one of its, you know, goats for cartoons. Regular Show, Adventure Time, Amazing World of Gumball. I think it is the weakest of those three, but seeing it here is really cool. Family Guy. I think like all these lists are gonna have Family Guy. Like Family Guy is, I think, the funniest show. Like if you're just looking for something to watch that'll make you laugh, Family Guy is like the number one option at that. Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends. Wow, what a pick here. Very shocking. Again, just going with the cartoon theme here. Anusha, another one that I believe is a longer anime. I'm not sure. I know it's an anime. I can't really comment too much on this show because I don't really know too much on it, but in the top 10 here, so this must be an anime favorite. Robot Chicken, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, was just amazing to put on like in the morning when you couldn't sleep, and that's like what that show was known for. You know, these shows I feel like are cool, but they're really in here, I believe, for the nostalgia and the effects and emotions that they brought when you were growing up. Invader Zim here, another one in that cartoon sphere. I think it's a little bit lower than the ones we have gone over, of course, the Family Guys, the South Parks, the regular shows, etc. But another very underrated one, the Boondocks here, a very underrated one, which I love seeing the memes from the Boondocks, man. Such a out-of-pocket show, man. Absolutely love it. I haven't really seen anything besides the memes, but the memes are so legendary that, you know, you gotta show respect. Regular Show here at number 2, can't fault that. And then Naruto. So this person here is very much into the animation, and you know, that's what they like, man. Some people, man, they really like a show in a specific genre or a specific type of show, and can't go wrong with the animation style, man. Maybe they like the visual effects, or just something about animation grabs this person, and is that why they have so many animated shows for their top 10. All right, here we have list number 9, and this is the one that looks like a great balance of comedies as well as dramas. Real Bros of Simi Valley here at number 10. This I've heard is like a web series. I actually don't know too much about this. If you've seen the Real Bros of Simi Valley, let me know in the comment section what you think of it, and if it's worth checking out here. This was one that I remember talking with my coworker with. This is actually his list, I remember, and he was one that was very much vouching for this show. 9, Parks and Recreation. Like I said, it's in those tier of sitcoms that is definitely worthy if you're going to put a sitcom in here. Parks and Rec, man, is so great. I love Leslie Knope and Ron Swanson are 2 of the best here in TV sitcom history. Ron Swanson is just so relatable here. Number 8, Stranger Things. I love seeing Stranger Things. We haven't seen it other than the one list, I believe, earlier. And Stranger Things definitely deserves to get its love here and praise. Better Call Saul, baby. Let's see. We've seen some Breaking Bads, but no Better Call Sauls yet. Better Call Saul is like on the tier with Breaking Bad, bro. Better Call Saul is so good. If you haven't watched Better Call Saul and you've seen Breaking Bad, you gotta watch Better Call Saul. Trailer Park Boys. This is another one that just, it's only like in the top 10 for, just how likable and funny it is. This one, I can imagine if you're just looking for a nice comfort show, Trailer Park Boys is going to be that. 5, Prison Break. Prison Break, I love seeing Prison Break on here. As you guys know, Prison Break is my favorite TV season of all time. Season 1 of Prison Break. I think the first 2 seasons are some of the best ever made. I even like season 3, 4, and 5, and a lot of people say, oh, they're trash, they fall off. I don't think so. I still like those seasons, and the first 2, those are probably the 2 best. If you're going to go with 2 seasons back-to-back, man, they're so great. Prison Break, absolutely phenomenal. Definitely worthy of a spot here. Number 4, The Office. The Office, another great sitcom that is up here. And we have number 3, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This is actually a really beloved sitcom that I haven't seen yet. I really can't share too much on it because I haven't seen it. I have friends, though, that are very divisive about this show. I have a group of friends who aren't big on It's Always Sunny, and I have a group of friends that absolutely love it. This is a show I feel like it's so divisive among people, but if you love it, man, it is one that grabs a lot of people in, and again, just one that are crazy, outlandish, and insane humor. Number 2, Breaking Bad, of course, Breaking Bad, let's get it. And the number 1, Ozark, man. Ozark, I've mentioned that I want to see Ozark here. It's up there in the top 5 for my watch list of 2023, man. I cannot wait to see what Ozark has to offer here. Jason Bateman here as the lead in this crime drama thriller. I can't wait. It is going to be epic. And number 1 on this list, that is definitely a bold pick. But again, I respect that pick. And finally here, we are at number 10, the final list here. We have Family Guy here at 10. Family Guy, poster child for comedy, man. And you gotta respect that and love that. Bosch here. This is one that is on my watch list. It's very, very interesting. Just by looking at this list, I can already tell which friend this is, and this is amazing here. Seeing people from The Wire who is on this list as well. Jamie Hector, Lance Reddick, and also the lead actor here. I really recognize him from Sons of Anarchy as Jimmy O'Fallon, but him in the lead is really, really great, and one that I definitely want to check out. As well as How to Get Away with Murder with Viola Davis here. This is one that I have been recommended. It's on my watch list. I definitely want to get into it. The concept seems super interesting, and one that I just gotta check out. The Office, we've already touched on The Office a ton here, as well as Prison Break. Love seeing the love for Prison Break. This is one that, man, I think Prison Break is so underrated. Like, some people have it in their top 10 here, but it's just not in there enough, man. Prison Break is so good. It has some of the best peaks in television history. Number 5, The Blacklist. I've already mentioned that I have been watching The Blacklist, and I think it's awesome, man. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, it's repetitive and shit, but I think they always find new ways to make the story interesting with these new villains. Every episode being so unique and different, as well as following a storyline over multiple seasons that gets you hooked and attached and seeing what's going to happen. Number 4, Seinfeld. Seinfeld here, I have seen the first season. I'm not too crazy on like the first season, but I have seen some of the iconic episodes from Seinfeld, like of course the Zoot Nazi and the Contest, as well as many others that were very well praised, and I absolutely love those episodes. The Contest is in my top 10 comedy episodes of all time, so it's Seinfeld's another one that I want to get into. It's another one that's really long, but one of the goats for sitcoms here. Number 3, The Wire. The Wire is absolutely phenomenal, with some of the best writing out there in TV. The characters are so interesting. This world is so amazing to explore. It's up there with Game of Thrones. I don't think it touches Game of Thrones, but I think The Wire, if you're going to put a show like next in line for world building, The Wire is amazing, connecting all these different storylines and the world of Baltimore. It's really cool, really great. Breaking Bad, number 2 here, the GOAT. You already know Breaking Bad. And then number 1 here, Barry. Barry is great. I want to see, though, how Barry's going to fare in its coming up seasons. You know, season 4 should be coming out maybe 2023 or 2024. And we'll have to see how it goes, because, you know, the way that season 3 ended for Barry, if you guys have seen it, it's like, what in the hell is going to happen now, man? But that show is absolutely incredible. I'm not sure if I'd have it in my top 10 yet, but it's really creeping up there, man. Barry is definitely worthy of a top 10. I think it's in that, you know, range where if you put it there, I wouldn't be shocked. And number 1 here, really having a lot of faith that Barry's going to stick the landing in its later seasons, as well as with the ending to the show. So yeah, guys, that's going to do it here for my reaction to these shows. You know, never done a reaction here, so definitely bear with me if some stuff was a little bit off here, but definitely tried to do my best here in you know, showcasing these 10 lists here. And like I said, we'll be doing a video reacting to your guys' list as well as other people's on the internet. So definitely leave your top 10 favorite shows. That was the one thing I wanted to emphasize too here. These are their personal favorites here. They weren't going off what they think is the best of all time or what is the most critically acclaimed. What was their personal favorites that meant the most to them? So that's something I always really like to see, and maybe the stories and backgrounds and why some of these shows are in their top 10. So yeah, that's going to do it, everyone. Take care and peace out.